I can sing high notes in scales, but not in songs. Why? Vocal tract shaping. Most vocal coaches don't even know what the heck this is. I'm going to explain it to you. The first thing is there are 4 basic rudimentary things that help you hit high notes. Of course, the first thing is good, strong diaphragmatic support. I cover that in my singing course, How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. By the way, you can find right here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, where we cover all of these subjects. And I also have a free singing forum over there with over 25,000 singers, all getting good at this stuff. You should be getting good at this stuff too. Vocal tract shaping. So I want to equate the throat, which is our vocal tract, to a roadway, okay? And the roadway has various turns. Some are sharp, some are longer, right? Some are somewhere in between. Those are our vowels. So we're in this car, we're driving down the road, and on an E vowel, because it's a small vowel, it commands a lot of pressure in the throat. So it's a sharp turn. On an ah vowel, we can make it around a big turn with an ah vowel. But what happens if we're on an ah vowel and then we have to make a quick sharp turn into an E vowel? And then we build a lot of sound pressure in the throat. This is our vocal tract. It turns out that it's even more complicated than that, meaning that I want to now put that same car that's going down this road in a video game. Okay, so we're driving along and we're cruising really fast and we're doing good and we want to hit these high notes and we're going up to these high notes or going up this hill to hit these high notes, and all of a sudden we need to make a quick right-hand turn. How fast are we traveling down that road to make this turn? Well, if we crash into the wall, we lose a lifeline. Okay, so if we crack, we break, we cause strain in the throat collapses, right? And it literally goes, and you start choking and gagging in the throat and you can't hit it. So let me explain this in a different way. Here you are, you're singing your scales. La, la, all these really high notes. You go, man, I can sing these high notes, but I can't go, yeah, right? And I can't put that in the game of the song because the vowel exchanges. Now I'm going to get back to the components of this, but hold on, stay with me. The vowel exchanges from an ah vowel to an E vowel, like in a word phrase, is very different when you're singing a song than singing the same vowel you're trying to strengthen in a scale, okay? This is our vocal tract. So we need to determine how much of these vowels we want to be different than another. Here's what I mean by this. An ah vowel is the biggest vowel we have. It's the la ah. La! You know, it's this huge vowel, right? Now, because this vowel is so big, to go la, la, right? You can feel in your throat. Do it with me. Let's try this together. La, right? Go from ah to E and feel the pressure that mounts in the throat. Now, if I was just going, hey, and only singing an E vowel would be much different and much easier if I'm repetitively singing this E vowel in a scale compared to going from an ah to an E, or from an E back to an ah, or from ha, ooh, from ah to oo, because ah is big, oo is smaller, it builds more sound pressure in the throat. So you can sing this oo vowel maybe in a scale really high, but it's really hard because you have to negotiate back and forth between these vowel exchanges, which are called words, okay? Now there's glottal stops or consonants that happen, and there's other things that we need to take care of. So let's go over the major components of this. First, diaphragmatic support. We've got to be able to have something strong enough as the engine that drives our car to sustain the sound. The second thing is, we have to practice these vowel exchanges from one vowel to another. We can't just practice only one vowel, though we do start with that to get the vowel correct. We want to do that first. I cover all of this in my singing course. You want to get that vowel correct first, and then you start exchanging between one vowel to another vowel to feel how it feels in the vocal tract. Back to the video game. So every time we mess up and we have too big of an exchange from one vowel to another vowel and we crash, we lose a lifeline. Most video games or songs are about 3 to 5 minutes. Now you can lose a few lifelines in this video game or in this song in 3 to 5 minutes and still recover quickly and get back on track. vocal tract, that is, right? So I want to show you how these exchanges work. And again, I'm oversimplifying a lot of this. There's a lot to it, but there's support, a relaxation response in the chest, the neck, and the throat. First, getting a command of how your vowels are supposed to feel in the throat and how you're supposed to warm them up as you do your scales. Very few people even talk about that. They just have you do an ah or an ah or an a or an e, and they think you're good to go. It's ridiculous. There's no way you're going to grow or learn from that. So anyway, we're going to do a vowel exchange, and the exchange is going to be starting on the bottom. We're going to start with an ah vowel because it's the biggest vowel we have. Now, you guys remember me say this. All vowel sounds stem from it's the la, ah. So all vowels that we have, we want to get that feeling of ah because we want to have something to depend on, this ah vowel to always go back to. This is our safety vowel. We know if we got the ah vowel, it's the biggest vowel, all other vowels should fall into place. But what most people do is they have a big exchange between vowels and they overshape the vocal tract. So if I sang for you anything, I don't know, I'm your lady and you are my man. Whenever I reach for you, I'll do all that I can, right? And that's a very Broadway theatrical approach because they want people to really hear the vowels themselves enough to understand the words clearly. But that's not the right way to approach this and to sing if you're looking for the easiest exchange between vowels. The way that should have been sung is, I'm your lady, and you are my man. Whenever I reach for you, I'll do all that I can, right? Now you say to yourself, well, Ken, what did you do differently? I under-accentuated the vowels and tried to keep them as close to the ah vowel as possible with very subtle changes or the path of least resistance in the throat from one vowel to another. So we're going to do this together. Ladies and guys, you both can do this in this range. We're going to go like this. We're going to go la, oh, ah. Now I'm not going to break it up like that, but we're going to go ooh, oh, ah at the top, starting on an ah vowel to seat the ah vowel in the throat first. So we're going to go la, oh, ah. Now I want you to notice the sound pressure as it went to ooh. You probably felt a fair amount of sound pressure in the throat. La, oh, ah, right? And you say, well, I kind of felt it, but I kind of didn't. Okay, I want to reverse it now. I want to go ah, O, and oo. So watch this. La, o. Do you feel that sound pressure starting to close down? Now I just want to go from ah to oo. Watch this. La, oo. You feel the tension mounting? Turns out, which we talked about, why can I sing this note in a scale, but I can't put it in a song? Because the higher up we go, the less we're going to be able to have those vowels they're going to sound like the vowel, yes, but they're not going to be as closed as that vowel that I just did. Let me show you what I mean. If I were to sing this in this octave, ooh, oh, ah, la, oh, ah, and I were to take that up an octave as a tenor, la, do you hear how little exchange there was? Listen down here. Ooh, ah. In this registration, I can really accentuate those vowels and make them sound like ooh, oh, and ah. But if I take it up in the higher registration, I'm not able to do that. I have to modify those closed vowels to get them closer to the ah vowel, or I will constrict the vowels in the throat. Listen again up the octave really closely. I'll try to over accentuate this so you really understand this. Right? I went ooh, oh, ah, a, e. Listen closely. Do You hear how little exchange there was? It was very subtle. On the bottom, so what we do, and I cover all of this in my singing course, we have to do a series of going back and forth between different vowel exchanges at different places of the scale so we can train stamina in the voice to sustain that and to know where to go in the throat, okay? So if I'm here, right? Now, that is a start to understand how the vowels feel. But there's one more thing I want to add to this. That approach was very bel canto or appoggio, operatic in the way I approached it, which was a correct way to do it. Right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to contemporize that sound and bring it in the face so it's not so dark and covered. And the more I'm able to bring it in the face and the less I'm able to exchange or have the closest relationship to the ah vowel, the more range I get. Did you hear me? Let me say it again. As I go higher, if I can keep the vowels closer to the ah without so much difference between the oo and the ah, the closer I can get to that ah and stay there and bring it in the face, the more range that I get. Watch. Instead of oh, ah, let me contemporize it. Oh, ah. Now technically, the vowel was almost the same as the covered operatic version I first did, but I brought it into the face and I made it a little smaller. Now, let me show you guys something else. I'm going to take this up the octave. And notice, you're going to say, I hardly heard a difference in any of the vowels. They all sounded kind of like ah, but yet I really did hear a difference, but it's so subtle I can hardly tell the difference. Okay, watch. Hear that? I didn't go, right? I didn't have a big exchange in the vocal tract. And this is why when you're going to sing a scale, it's a lot easier to sing the scale and sing high notes in a scale than you are able to do that and put that in song. And you're going to find out that once you master this technique, singing becomes a whole lot easier and you will win that car driving game. I promise. Stick around for my next video. I'm gonna sing for the people who can